Hello there, you beautiful soul, and welcome back to Plant-Based Cooking with Rebecca Muñoz. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me once again. Thank you to all of my subscribers. My channel is slowly growing, and I'm so grateful for that. So last week, I brought you a black bean and sweet potato burrito bowl, which was amazing. And this week, I wanted to bring you something lighter. I'm actually, I'm in the process of a 48-hour detox. And I always like to end my detoxes with either a superfood smoothie, which I do every morning and typically in the evening. And I love, superfood salads, salads that are very easy to digest. They're anti-inflammatory. They are fueled with tons of superfood. And, salads don't have to be bland. A lot of times people think that as vegans, we only eat salads. But as you can see in my channel, I have incorporated a variety of superfoods, and not just Mexican like myself, but also incorporating a variety of multicultural foods. And salads, they can be very basic, or they can be dressed up with delicious and nutritious ingredients that are going to be fueling and easy to digest and really great for our gut health, which is the ultimate goal, is to achieve optimal well-being as well as our gut health, because I have mentioned in my previous videos that our gut is our second brain. It is the solar plexus, right? It is the area that sends signals to our brain and to the rest of our body in order for us to have the proper energy that we need. Also to be fueled in a way that we are going to have sustainable energy over the course of our life. And so foods are very, very important, more important than anyone has actually made us to believe. And so I love to do kale salads. I love spinach. I love quinoa. I love avocado. There's so many varieties of veggies that you can incorporate into your salads. And so today I'm going to do a quinoa and kale harvest salad. Apples are in season. And there's a saying that says an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, superfood every single day will also keep the doctor away. So I wanted to use apples. I wanted to use, a variety of ingredients that are going to give you protein, that are going to give you good carbs, fueling carbs, and good fats. So I went ahead, again, I took the liberty of chopping all of the veggies, and I'm going to make the dressing from scratch, okay? So I went ahead and chopped up the kale already. I did a Lacinato kale and then regular kale. So you can do, there's a couple of varieties that you can do. I love the Lacinato and also the regular kale because it is a lot more earthy. And yeah, it's great for soups. I used kale in a couple of my recipes. So there is so many ways that you can use it. So today we're going to do a pretty much raw salad except for the quinoa. So I already cooked the quinoa. I did about half of a purple onion. I'm a lover of onion. If you're not, you don't have to use it. So again, these recipes are just meant to give you a guideline of the ingredients that are really good to use, and then you can add or subtract based on what it is that you really like. So I'm a big fan of red bell peppers. I used a very small organic red bell pepper, and preferably I do like to use organic just because it does matter. Although there is a slippery slope with organic here in the United States because the FDA regulations, there are so many loopholes. So a lot of companies can label something organic or natural and not necessarily be the truth. Yet it is really important for you to really think about where your food is coming from, because it does matter. So, oftentimes, especially the big industries with food, tend to use a lot of chemicals, pesticides, herbicides in farming, because it tends to help save crops, especially if farmers are not they're not really getting enough harvest, from what they've planted. Sometimes farmers, it takes a few years for them to get a full harvest of what they've planted. So oftentimes there's no regulations, and they're spraying our food with these chemicals that can be very harmful for our bodies. So I always tend to gravitate towards maybe going to farmers markets or going to markets where they source sustainable food. And so this is always a really good idea for you to start thinking about, where is my food coming from? Has it been sprayed? Is it damaging to my body? I'm a big label reader. If I don't know, a certain brand, I always tend to read the labels to see if there are additives, there are, high fructose corn syrup, just ingredients that we don't really know, right? That's why I really like to use whole foods, because it takes the guesswork out of it, right? You're not having to read a laundry list of a laundry list of ingredients on labels that you're just not familiar with. So this is always the safe route to go. So I did chopped up 2 organic granny apples, and I chopped them up pretty small. Now, I'm a big fan of apples. You can use less, you can use more. It really just depends, again, on your preference. So I did 2 small Granny Smith apples, organic, and then I cooked up it was actually a cup of uncooked quinoa, but it actually makes a lot. So you can do 2 cups of cooked quinoa and just follow the instructions on the label. Honestly, quinoa is super easy to make. I did 1 cup of uncooked quinoa, and I did 2 cups of water with a little bit of salt. Like, I keep it very, very basic. So just throw that in there. I did a half cup of dried organic cranberries. And so you can actually, instead of doing cranberries, because sometimes dried fruit can have sometimes added sugars, so you want to be very careful with that. But you can also incorporate maybe cherries. You can do grapes. There's a couple of different fruits that you can use. I'm a big fan of sweet and salty, so this is a delicious one. And then I did 1 cup of chopped walnuts. You can roast these if you want to. I didn't. I'm doing them raw because I like raw walnuts, and walnuts are really good for brain health as well. So this is going to be a very good combination of your good carbs, your good fats, your good proteins. You're getting protein in the quinoa, you're getting protein from your walnuts and your kale, surprisingly. And then you're getting anti-inflammatory ingredients as well. So we want to definitely look at ingredients that are going to be non-mucus building, and meat and dairy tends to cause more mucus buildup in our bodies, especially because it is a longer digestive process. If you are not incorporating a good digestive enzyme, I really encourage you to do that, especially if you're heavy on meat and dairy. But even in foods like this, I actually do a digestive enzyme every single day. I do probiotics. And then, incorporating superfoods that are high in minerals and amino acids. There is a lot of mineral deficiencies in our current food system right now, especially with the American diet. So it's really important for us to be very informed, as well as, just be paying attention to how nutrient rich your food is, because it does count. So I went ahead and layered everything, and then I'll mix everything up when I get this salad dressing together. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use 2 fresh lemons. And you can do one of these, because that way it saves you from picking out the seeds. So you can do fresh squeezed lemon, for your dressing. For my dressings, I try to keep them pretty basic. I often use in my salads, I use balsamic vinegar. And I use nutritional yeast, which gives it a really nice cheesy flavor, and it's also a good source of B vitamins. And then, so you can just squeeze this in there. And then for your salad dressings, I typically will use avocado oil. Sometimes I actually don't use oil very much in my dressings, but this is going to be, it does require some oil. And you can use an olive oil. You can use an avocado oil. Olive oil I tend to use only in my sauces, stuff that I don't have to heat. So, you know, it's really good over bread. It's good over salads, you know, any type of sauces that you like to do. So there's about, it's about a half a cup. You could do a little bit less if you want to. And then I'm going to do a half cup of olive oil. And this is at 100% Italian organic extra virgin olive oil, cold pressed. And this is from Trader Joe's. You can use from any place, really. I like to use the cold press just because it doesn't mess with the nutritional value of the oil. And so I tend to use a cold pressed avocado oil as well when I use avocado oil. So just go ahead and blend that in there with the lemon. And lemon is also a really natural detoxifier too. So incorporating lemon hot teas even in your recipes or in your daily routine is a really great idea. So then I'm going to do about a tablespoon and a half of the Dijon mustard, and I'm using a brand called Organicville. And this is, I purchased this one at Natural Grocers, but you can find Organicville at quite a few, you can find them at a few grocery stores. I believe Whole Foods has it, Sprouts has it. I believe Albertsons started carrying it as well. And so this is going to give it kind of more of a creamy consistency. I forgot to get a spoon. And then another half. And again, you want to just kind of gauge these recipes because oftentimes I'll just make it up or I'll find a similar recipe that I want to use. And then I'll just alter it. So, you know, as you begin to experiment with plant-based living, you're going to find different foods that, you know, or different ingredients that you want to use. And so it's always very helpful to play with it. This particular dressing could call for honey. Yeah, I'm a 100% vegan, so I don't use any ingredients that come from animals. And because honey is kind of a process that messes with the ecosystem of our bees, I'd rather not use honey. So I chose to use date syrup. I'm a big fan of dates. Dates are really, really good for our gut health as well. Good source of fiber. It's sweet. I like to make date jam. You can even do, you know, a date jam, which I could probably demonstrate how to make in another segment. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of date syrup. So this will give it more of a sweet taste. So it's going to be a sweet and salty salad. Let's add that in there. Mix it all up. And you can even make extra and you can put it in a bottle like this so that you have it for another time. But this, I'm going to go ahead and put in my entire salad since it's a pretty big family style salad. And this can be done as a side dish. It could be done as an entire meal because it is pretty hearty. You're getting, you know, good source from the walnuts. The quinoa is going to be pretty filling. So salads, again, don't have to be bland and they don't have to be not filling. These salads are going to be, you know, a good source for you to get like a, you know, a substantial meal. So then you can put the entire dressing in the salad and then mix it up. I like these salads chilled, so you can cover it up and put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours before serving it, or you can eat it right away. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up real quick. And this is going to be a fast one, because once you cook the quinoa, and you can actually have quinoa in your refrigerator, and there's so many ways you can make it. Like last week I used the quinoa for the burrito bowls, and it was perfect because I was able to, you know, use the leftovers for another dish the next day. And so these are ingredients that you can have available to you in your refrigerator at all times, because there's so much that you can do with these. You can even put this in a wrap. You can put it in a wrap with some tofu, some tempeh, or any other meat alternatives that you want to use. Today, I'm not going to use any of that. I'm just going to use the ingredients that I have here, and it's a perfect salad for the fall. Okay, so all mixed up in there, and you are ready. You can either chill it, like I said, or you can eat it right away. Look how beautiful this looks. I am a big fan of colorful food, and you are going to get a lot of variety in color on this channel. And there you go. There you have your Harvest Superfood Salad. I hope that you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Please, if you are watching these videos, your feedback is very important to me. It helps me not only improve, but also bring you recipes that I know that you're going to love and you are going to eat and enjoy. And I'm so grateful for your support, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Peace.